Hello and welcome back to part 10 of our series of modeling the self-portrait in 3D. Before we get too deep into it, we're going to model the mouth, and what I want to do is a few kind of housekeeping things first. If I just hit 3 on my keyboard to go into my soft select mode, you can see we get a nice preview. Hit 1 and off of that, and our hard edge preview, when I kind of deselect our object or our mesh, you can see we get a difference in display here. We get some hard edges and some soft edges, and this is just from our extrude, and really it's not going to render that much different for us. But if this is kind of bugging you, because as we model and do different tools we're going to get different displays on our surfaces, you can just select your object, and that it's going to go under normals, soften edge. That should soften all of our edges, and now we get that uniform display we're looking at, or that we think we need. Really, it's something you can do at the very end. You're probably going to have to do a couple of times if it's bugging you, because as we model and execute different modeling tools, it's going to affect how our surface is going to look. A second little thing I wanted to look at right now are these edges along the back. We really don't need them along the back of the skull. And I'm going to go right click into edge mode, and what I'm going to do is select these edges. If I was to double click on an edge, it would and should select an edge loop. We should still have loops here, but I don't want to come all the way around because I created these edge loops to model detail in our face here. So I'm just going to kind of click and select back from where our ear would be, and I think I'll eliminate these 3 lines here. I'm holding my shift key down, and you can see I still have symmetry turned on, and that's allowing me to select all the way around. Now this isn't selected because symmetry is just a bit off on this side. To reselect. So I'm just going to make sure I've got 3 sides here, and sorry, my image plane in the way. Got sorry, I made a mistake. I didn't want to select this, so I'm just Control to deselect. Control and left mouse click to deselect that edge. Okay, so now we have our 3 edges back here selected. The problem here is that you're going to be tempted to hit delete. When I hit delete, you can see these edges are still a little wonky here because the vertices are left. All these little vertices, and this is still creating n-gons for us, or 5 or more sided polygons. So the trick here is, let's undo this, is that with the selected I want to go Control Delete. That Control Delete will leave or delete the vertices as well. And we're left with some nice quads back here and not a lot of geometry. I probably will come back later maybe and delete this edge back here, but for now we'll just leave that. Here you can see that we were left with quite a few, well, an n-gon here because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sides. I'll fix this later. Right now I can move on with my mouth. So let's do that. Start modeling our mouth. I'm going to need to use our multi-cut tool. So left mouse just to go and enter into our multi-cut tool. I'm not going to turn X-ray off. I'm just going to hold my shift key down. I'll do it in my perspective view. If I look here, I can see that my mouth is coming almost to this edge exactly. This main edge right here. Right here. So that's going to almost be the extent of my edge of my mouth, but I'm just going to cut that a bit closer in here, and I'm going to do what I like to call, and I'm not taking credit for this, but I just call it picture framing, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. Instead of, what's nice about the multi-cut tools, I don't have to necessarily snap to an edge or vertice. I can just click right within the face. And I'm just going to click down again, hold my shift key down to get the snap in the middle of that edge. I'll do the same here. Now I could turn mirror on, but the point is that our mouth is going to be asymmetrical anyway, so I don't see the need for it right now. And you can see as I mouse over this first initial cut I made, I get the close sign, so I'm just going to click on close and hit enter to execute that cut. Now you can see that this is still quads within here, but my polygon's on the outside here. Just get out of that tool. Now this is an n-gon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides, but this is this picture framing technique I talked about back into my multi-cut tool, and I can just click once on that corner that it snaps to, second time to the corner of my mouth, that vertex connection or joint there, hit enter, and I'm just going to repeat this process all the way around at each corner. Hit enter. And what I'm going to do, just to kind of show where this is leading, I can go into face mode, select these faces and hit delete. And now I have the formation of, or the beginning formation of my mouth. And everything is still quadded out here with that mouth. If I hit 3, I can see that what it's going to look like. And on our next segment, I'll show you how we can add some detail to that. You can see on the side here, when I go into that soft mesh preview, how these n-gons are kind of forming this weird looking face, and we'll come back and fix that later.